that you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. That proves the point. What we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. So I'm going to share some things with you that I have learned since going to Nigeria. Things that I have worked with and things that will allow you to be able to have the kind of weaponry that will allow you to break through and achieve the things that's important to you. How many of you have some breakthrough goals you want to reach? Raise your hands, all right? When I was coming up, born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, being adopted, my mother going on Miami Beach working for wealthy families, cooking for them, the leftover food. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. I was one of 7. She only had a 3rd grade education. And she kept her children. We wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And my goal and dream was to be able to buy food for our family and not have to wait till somebody eat so that we can eat. My goal and dream was to buy clothes that no one else had worn, that we could wear brand new clothes. And I remember going on Miami Beach and going in different stores, just looking. And Mama said, what are you looking for? I said, Mama, in our community, there are stores, and they're owned by Caucasians. I don't see any stores over here owned by us. How do we make money off them like they make money off us? And she said, Leslie, we can't do that. And that bothered me. I remember, I'm 72, and I remember signs on Miami Beach that said, Jews, dogs, and coloreds not allowed. That affects your sense of self. When society, when you live in an environment and you're treated less than a dog, that you're less than a dog. There are places that dogs can go, you can't go because of the color of your skin. And what is really, and I'm in this place where Leo Tolstoy, he was a Russian author. He said, as I face inevitable death, what in the meaning and the purpose of my life that will not be undone or destroyed when I'm gone? And I can say to you, because of this man here, because of the empowerment mindset that he has, because of the standards that he set for himself, and he passes those standards on to you through the principles of success that he espouses on a regular basis. And sometimes because we hear things on a regular basis, we tend to take it for granted. But let me share something with you. You're chosen. You're very blessed to be in this country. Because being in this country and being under this leadership, you have the power to be a transformative force. Being under his leadership, you have the ability to transform the continent. And there's some things that I accomplished because as a kid, I wanted to be able to take care of my mother. I wanted to set her down. As a kid, I wanted to be able to control my own future. I was working for Sears. And they said if you're the top salesperson, you would be able to become a manager. And you earn more money. And I read all of these motivational books and listened to all of these motivational recordings, and I became the manager. I became the top person, the top salesperson 6 months in a row. And every month when I go in and say, Mr. Simpson, I guess I'm about to become the manager now, right? And he says, no, be a team player. Not right now. Did it again. 2nd month. No. 3rd month. Not right now. 4th month. Man, you're a good guy. We all love you here. Just keep doing a good job. And I was training people who they put over me and made money off me and the knowledge that they got from me. And then I confronted him the 6th month and say, listen, I've done this 6 months in a row. Well, the reason we can give you, I said, don't you use that word with me. You're not giving me anything. I'm not asking you to give me anything. I've earned this. I want what's mine. Well, it will lower morale. And on that day, that gave the birth of the entrepreneur in me. On that day, when things happen to you, you can become bitter or you can become better. Helen Keller says when one door closes, another door opens. But most of us spend a lot of time and energy talking about the closed door. We don't see the open door. And I'm saying to you right now, every time you come to this church and every time you hear this man, just say to yourself, thank you, God. Thank you for putting me under this anointed leadership that will give me clarity and the vision of how to manage myself, my family, and to live a life of contribution. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. So I want to share with you some things about making it against all odds. What I'm doing now, I'm looking not for everybody, I'm just looking for a few people to work with. Because when I wanted to do this, I used to go see Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Zig Ziglar and Wayne Dyer and Robert Schuller. You see those guys and my heart would say, I can do that. But my mind would ask, how? And then I would talk myself out of it. Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You've never worked for a major corporation. Les Brown, you can't do that. When you were in the 5th grade, you were labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. Fail again in the 8th grade. Les Brown, you can't compete with those guys. You don't have their money. You don't have their contacts. You have the complexion of rejection. They have the complexion of connection. I saw Tony Robbins' infomercial on television. Gunther Ranker spent millions of dollars to make sure it was played every hour all over the world so that he'd have global impact. And that was my vision and my dream. And I said, I want to change people's lives around the world too. When I sent them a letter and I sent them a video and it says, very good, you got a good story, and you're black. I said, thank you very much. I never would have known that if you hadn't told me. And so they said, we're not going to do that with you because we don't believe the general American public will buy success principles for someone that looks like you. And things happen to you. They can make you bitter or they can make you better. I want you to think about your golden dream. 3 areas. 1, your personal goal. What is it you want to do? Mine was to buy my mother a home. I did that for her 4 different homes before she passed. What is some personal goal that you want? At this time in my life, this is my 21st year dealing with cancer. My goal before the year is out, this will not live in my life. Amen. I'm working and doing what I need to do so that will become history in my life experience. Everybody say together, we see that for you. We see that for you. Thank you, I received that. So that's a personal goal, is health. The other goal that I have is financial. What's your financial freedom number? That once you earn that amount of money, that it will alleviate stress in your life and allow you to be able to take care of your family and have money to contribute to the church and be able to support programs and ministries and the ministry is engaged in. And when you have that amount of money, it gives you more choices and have more time for yourself and your family. What does that figure look like? People say money won't make you happy. Everybody want to find out for themselves. Did you feel a brother up in here, all right? Yeah, money makes a difference. How many of you have children? Raise your hands, please. I have 10. I'm a real Nigerian. 5 boys and 5 girls. Yes, indeed. And my oldest son, Calvin, had a stroke. He's 50. I don't care how old your children become, they're still your children. He's on his right side. He can speak, he can walk. He's being fed by a tube in his stomach. He's lost over 100 pounds, down to 160 pounds. The health practitioners cost $3,000 a week, not covered by health insurance. 95% of the people who filed bankruptcy last year did so because of medical expenses. But as his father, I'm glad that I can write the check and I can do more than just pray for him. How many of you like to be in that position? Raise your hands, please. Good. I want to talk with you about how to do that. The other thing is I want you to tell me and think about what will your social contribution be? What will your legacy be? To one who's given much, much is required. You've been given much through this place, through this ministry, through this channel that God has used. What will your legacy be? You have access that people in Nigeria don't have. What will your legacy be? A good man leaves a legacy for his children and his children's children. Steve Harvey went to the hospital with a friend of his whose grandmother was sick. And this young man's grandmother asked him a key question. She said, "Do you know your great-grandfather?" He said, "No." And she said, "Because he didn't leave you anything. Had he left you something, you would know his name."
That's deep.
You would know his name. Am I correct on that?
You're correct. Very correct.
How many of you want your grandchildren and great-grandchildren to know your name? Raise your hand. I want to share with you how you can make that happen. And so, what will your social contribution be to the country of Nigeria? Just creating enough for you and your family and going to your grave, that's not enough for you, because you have this man as your spiritual father and leader, because of this ministry, because of the programs here, because of your exposure, because of your access. There's another advantage that you have. You're from Nigeria. MIT did a study, and the study said, if I tell you you can't do that, somebody else has to come along and say you can do it, you can do it, you can do it 17 times and neutralize at one time. I came up in a culture that was designed to tell me what I could not do. Was designed to destroy my sense of self in people who look like me. Now Paul said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before, but Paul wasn't black. I'm going to have a conversation with you, Paul. So that sounds good. That sounds real good. But it's not real. I was asleep one night, a movie called Magnolia. Tom Cruise. There's a line in there. We might be through with our past, but our past is not through with us. Dr. Martin Seligman, who wrote a book called Learned Optimism, the most exhaustive study done on self-development and self-esteem, he said between the ages of 0 and 5, between 0 and 5, a word is formulated. And that word is yes, or that word is no. If you're in a hostile environment where you have the complexion of rejection, if you are through systems and institutions and deprived of certain access to information and don't have the connection of rejection, and in an environment that is designed to destroy your sense of self, the work to convert that no in you to a yes is enormous. It's enormous. Fleas are born with the physical capacity to jump, and let's say hypothetically speaking, 20 inches high. But if you put fleas in a 10-inch jar and put a top on it, you watch them, they'll jump up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you listen closely, you will hear them hitting their heads. And then after a while, they'll jump up and down, up and down, up and down. And they won't be hitting their heads. And when you take the top off, because of the rejection over and over and over again, and they've become conditioned and feel hopeless and helpless, when you take the top off, the jar is 10 inches high. They were born with the physical capacity to jump 20 inches high. They won't jump out. But here's the tragic part. When those fleas have baby fleas, the baby fleas, even though they're born with the physical capacity to jump 20 inches high, they will jump just below 10 inches because of their environment, because of how they're treated. No one rises to low expectations. Because of their observations, because of what they've been told, because they've been treated less than. Am I making sense? Do you understand?
Yes.
And so, you were born in Africa. In a population where you had the complexion of connection. So, there are things that impacted me that did not impact you. There's a virus that's in me. I call it HIV, hood-infected virus. AIDS, addiction to incarceration and death syndrome. You weren't infected with that. You, because you were born on the motherland, because of God's grace and mercy, and because of this leadership, you have the opportunity to affect people with your greatness. Give yourselves and your ministry and your minister a round of applause. Come on, baby. So what I want you to do is you think about the personal goal, you think about your financial goal, and you think about your social contribution. That was profound, Pastor Gandhi said. He never left Nigeria. That's profound. Because part of his mindset is leaving a legacy. Part of his mindset is to transform the country that gave birth to him. Let us say together, that's my vision too.
That's my vision.
I have access.
I have access.
I have leadership.
I have leadership.
I have knowledge.
I have knowledge.
That my brothers and sisters at home
My brothers and sisters at home
don't have.
don't have.
I have favor with God.
I have favor with God.
I'm in Jesus' house.
I'm in Jesus' house.
Praise God for that. Come on now. Yeah, you should be applauding that. Come on. Man. playing the game. They don't have ownership. They're just a spectator. You are a player. He's grooming you and developing you in your mindset, this event here. And convinced me to be here on a K-Mod special. Because when I speak in the United States, I now get $55,000. That's what I got last night when I spoke in Las Vegas. Now when I speak internationally, where I'm going to London on November the 12th, and to Brussels, and to Italy, and to Dubai, I charge $225,000 US. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. How many of you know people who, if Kanye West or Beyonce was here, you couldn't get near this church? Raise your hands, please. Right? Know why they're not here? Because they have been infected with our culture. Infected with an entertainment-driven mindset. Pastor Gandhi has created a different kind of culture. Write this down. Collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. That's why the table's around. Collaborative, where you work together. Achievement-driven, where you have goals that you're working on individually and collectively. Collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, where you help each other. Repeat after me, please. Help somebody.
Help somebody.
And help yourself.
And help yourself.
Because what you give
Because what you give
is what you get.
is what you get.
And so with that, and I'm going to add something else to it, I can tell you, the 7 is my lucky number. I'm one of 7 children. I was born February 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. I tell you, 7 is my lucky number. You know? My phone number is 702. My address is 2737. Then I tell you, 7 is my lucky number. Our oncologist looked at me and said, Mr. Brown, your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, is 2,400, sir. It's metastasized the cancer in your body to 7 different areas. I started smiling. He said, why are you smiling? I said, 7 is my lucky number. That means that cancer getting the hell beat out of it. Can you feel it, brother? Up in here. Up in here. But as I was reflecting on my life, there are things that I will share with you that caused me to be able to do what I'm doing now. My birth parents came in here right now. I would not know either one. I've never seen my father or my mother. I thought I saw my father in Nigeria. I think he was in Abuja. He's behind on child support. He's running from a brother. Hey, come back here. No, that's not right, brother. That's not right. You understand? You don't know me. You understand? You understand? Oh, behave. I'm sorry. The medication wear off. Okay. So, as you think about your goal and dream, let us say together with conviction, it's possible.
It's possible.
That's one of the most important things that Dr. Gandhi has been teaching for a long time. You got to have a mindset of optimism that it's possible. There's some things you can't say you can do, but if someone else has done that, and you look at me as an example rather than an exception, you will say, it's possible. Am I correct? Do you understand? So, write this down. Opportunity, you know, people, how many ever heard opportunity knocks on every door? Raise your hands, please. I dispute that. Opportunity does not knock on every door. Opportunity does not knock on every door. Opportunity stands by silently, waiting for you to recognize it. Opportunity stands by silently, waiting for you to recognize. I'm going to share with you how I earned my first million. Who would be interested in knowing that? Next one. So, how many Nigerians in the United States? What guesstimate? About 5 million. 5 million in Nigeria, right? So I'm going to talk to you about how to leverage and make money, your first million off the 5 million, and how many of you like to make money beyond your community? Raise your hands, please. If I depended upon engagements in the African American community, I would speak maybe, if I'm lucky, 3 times a year. 3 times a year. Because I'm in a culture that's entertainment driven. You are in a culture that's driven with a mindset and a philosophy of collaborative, achievement driven, supportive relationships. So here's one of the first keys that made a difference for me. I was in this gentleman's class, Mr. Leroy Washington. I eulogized him last year. Young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. Sir, I can't do that. Why not? I'm not one of your students. Look at me. Yes, sir. Go to the board and work this problem out anyhow. I can't, sir. The other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. What's DT? He's a dumb twin. And the kids erupted in laughter, and I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that was a turning point in my life. And he taught me 3 main things. And the first one is something that Pastor Gandhi does every time he's before you. He said, Mr. Brown, what is your goal? What is your dream? I want to buy a home for my mother, sir, and I want to be able to be my own boss. I want to become successful. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. So he said, work on your mind. Work on your mind. He gave me a recording by a guy named Earl Nightingale called The Strangest Secret in the World. And then I remembered when I heard his voice, because when I was shining Mr. Segursky's shoes on Miami Beach when I went to work with my mother, he listened to Earl Nightingale and Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Zig, if you give enough people what they want, they'll give you what you want. Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Winston Churchill, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but at the end, there it is. I was being programmed and didn't even know it. You're being programmed, but you're aware because Pastor Gandhi is programming you for success. The people in my culture who look just like you, we've been programmed to live after we die. How many of you want to live right now? Jesus says, first words in his ministry, the kingdom of God is at hand. Follow me on this one. I'm only looking for 7 people who want to change their lives, achieve their goals, leave a legacy. I only want to work with 7 people. I'm booked now with 7. I've got that I'm working with now. By the 15th of next month, I will be through with them. Only want 7. So, here's the first thing. He said, Mr. Brown, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. He said, train your mind to serve you. He gave me something key, and I'm suggesting to you how you can earn millions of dollars. I've earned over 65 million since I've been doing this. I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you that what Pastor Gandhi teaches what he's speaking from the pulpit and from all of the workshops, all the books and seminars that he's gone to, and the thousands of dollars that he's invested in himself so that he can pass it on to you. He's on point. A brother by the name of Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself in what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. So this workshop we're now doing, which is designed to change your mindset. Next thing is what Mr. Washington said to me. He said, Mr. Brown, practice OQP. Write this down, OQP. Only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Show me the 5 people that you are close to, that you communicate with most, and I can tell you within $2,000 to $3,000 after I talk to them how much you earn. Birds of a feather flock together. Think about that. And so, back to this table, they're round, to create a culture of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, upgrade your relationships. Do that.
Upgrade your relationship, bro. Upgrade your relationship. Upgrade your relationship.
Upgrade your relationship. Lads, can I change him? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. Let's say together, let go.
Let go.
Or be dragged.
Or be dragged.
Evaluate the relationships in your life and ask yourself the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Are they infecting me with their mediocrity or affecting me with their greatness? What is this relationship doing to me? Am I becoming a better person mentally and emotionally and intellectually and spiritually and financially? What is this relationship doing to me? What fellowship does light have with darkness? None. None. Many people will never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives.
That's true.
I had to get away from it, including family members. I don't take but probably the 10th call from my twin brother, and we're 5 minutes apart. Because our goals are different. Isn't it interesting how you can be raised in